What is going on, everybody? How are we doing tonight? Let's make sure I'm in like the right voice or something. It's been a while. I haven't done this in a while, so thank you for being here. It is a Spork of Ice and Fire. What is up, Biggles Mets? Yes, I am so glad you're out there. And 11 Alpha, thank you for being there. Haven't been on in a while. I don't even know if this thing is straight. Who cares? We're going to be talking tonight once again about Duncan Egg. So we're going to stick with book canon. We are going to talk about what I pray HBO Max gets right. This is a test for them. I feel like they screwed up on season 2 of House of the Dragon. And I hope they don't do that with Duncan Egg, because to me, Duncan Egg is the most important story so far in A Song of Ice and Fire. It's not finished, but it has the makings to be the most important story. Yes, there's the conquest. Yes, there's the dance. But during Duncan Egg's time, there is a lot going on. Even though there are just 3 short novellas, there's no dragons. There's just a bald kid. There's a hedge knight. No White Walkers. No Iron Throne drama for the most part. That's kind of on the peripheral. And yeah, I'm going to argue tonight that Duncan Egg might be the most important George R. R. Martin story he has written in Westeros. It's not just a prequel, people. It's like the blueprint. Okay. It explains why good men fail, and we see that through Dunk's eyes. Why good kings lose, and we'll see that through Egg's eyes before the crown. And why Westeros cannot be fixed, Blackfire Rebellion, Bloodraven, and the system itself. The system where at one point you have Targaryens that think, even though they don't have dragons, they may actually be dragons, and that they're ordained by God. It just, everything that led to this point is the breeding ground for what happens in Robert's Rebellion. I'll have to explain that to you at some point, buddy. Maybe tonight. And HBO is adapting it, which makes this story their biggest test to me. So we're gonna break down why the error matters, why Dunk's the most dangerous knight in the 7 Kingdoms, why Egg's reign was doomed before it began, why the Blackfires still haunt Westeros to this day, why Bloodraven should terrify everyone, and what HBO cannot afford to get wrong. So if you're here for lore, which a couple of you I hope are, you're in the right place. If you're here because you're nervous about HBO, also the right place. And let's work into it. All right, that was lame. So it's like Westeros between apocalypse, right? Duncan Egg takes place in the quietest Westeros we've ever seen. No dragons in the sky, no others in the snow, no continent spanning wars. It's that exactly why it's terrifying. That puts it right in the middle of that. This is Westeros after the dragons lost power. Well, lost their power. They lost the dragons. But before the realm actually collapses. The Targaryens still rule, right? They still rule, but no one fears them anymore. They may to their faces, but they're whispering. They're plotting. They're siding with Blackfires, replacing one with the other, maybe. Knights still wear armor, but no one trusts them. Lords still talk about honor, but nobody believes it. This is a world where power has vanished. It's decayed. It's gone. Yet the powerful cling on. Cling on. And George is very deliberate about this. Okay. What's up, Jane? After the Civil War, right? Well, it's after what? Which Civil War? It's after the dance. During after the first Blackfire, because the second one was being figured out in Duncan Egg 3. So yeah. It's good. I seriously, Jane, was going to reach out to you tomorrow. Like, well, after tonight, I was going to send it tomorrow because I haven't seen you for so long, and I was just making sure everything's all right. Hope your Thanksgiving family, everyone's doing well. Merry Christmas, all that good stuff. And we have Butcher of Balvikin. Love that name. Balvikin. Is that the Witcher? I always get that stuff confused. Anyways, back to it. So George is very deliberate about this. We're seeing corrupt tourneys, cruel princes, knights who bully peasants, lords who exploit tradition. No prophecy is required. No magic excuses. It doesn't even factor in. Just people being people. This is the most realistic Westeros George ever wrote as a story. There are moments in others in the main story where it's realistic, but not on the peasant level, not on the people's level. And here's the danger for HBO. I'm just going to put that out here. Yeah, the second hasn't. The first one failed. The second one was like he was plotting. He was talking about his dream. We'll get into that another night. But yeah, he dreamt of a dragon being born, but it was really, somebody else. I don't want to spoil that, but thank God you're alive. All right, danger for HBO. And I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to hold off on the chat for just a little, but if you guys have got questions, stuff to throw in there, put at Spork so I know it's important, and I will make sure to highlight it because you guys rule. Thank you for being here tonight. I haven't been around forever, so I'm just happy anybody's watching. If they add spectacle, they break the point. It's not about spectacle. In the first trailer, I'm hoping what we saw was realistic to what they're going to do. Duncan Egg is powerful because it's small, because the injustice is casual, because no one is watching. Except for Grant Gregory. What's up, buddy? You're muted, bud. Well, while you figure that out, I'll finish my little splurge here. This is the world that creates rebellions. This is the world that creates Robert Baratheon. This is the world that breaks the realm long before the War of the Five Kings. Duncan Egg sets it up. It's the blueprint. It is the, maybe not just the blueprint, but what's a better word? It's the epicenter of what happens. It's the pebble in the lake. So
Trial.
Hello. We are Grant.
Trial.
Trial. I'll never ignore you, Pickles.
All right, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. What the hell was that?
Yeah, no, sorry, something was going on with me. Tings.
All right, buddy. What's going on?
Yeah, not much. Just thought I'd jump on. I didn't realize you're actually streaming today, so
I know. Sorry about that, dude. I've been off. It's been crazy. A lot of 12-hour shifts and a lot of hours worked and not enough sleep. But I'm catching back up, working normal hours, taking like a week and a half, almost 2 weeks off coming Christmas. So hopefully getting some stuff done in here. Moving my studio to a different room, setting it up a little differently. So we'll see what happens. But I'm glad.
Why don't you go back to the garage?
I was thinking about it. It wasn't the garage. That's my workshop. The garage. I could do the garage though. Oh no, I did do the garage once or twice. You're right. I forgot about that. You have both workshop and garage. Damn, that's some long ago. Anywho, I'm trying to hold on.
That was back when you were doing Star Wars content.
And I was still actually doing, well, I was doing both. I was doing Star Wars. I was doing Game of Thrones. I was actually going to just do a show tonight about some of the trailers I've been seeing and why I'm nervous. But uh, you know, it's Tuesday night, it's Game of Thrones night, so um, I thought I'd break down what Dunkin' Egg is really about. You know how important it is as a story to the main story of Westeros. You know, to um, we could call it present day Westeros, uh, and what HBO needs to get right. Like starting off, Dunk Ser Duncan the Tall is the anti-knight. You know how you have an anti-hero?
Anti-knight?
He's the anti-knight. Instead of an anti-hero, anti-knight. And why I mean that, not anti-hero, but why I mean that is for what knights have become in Westeros. He is the antithesis. No, not antithesis. Uh he's yeah, he's is it antithesis? Is that the right word? He's the opposite of those losers. Um he's not impressive. You know, he's poor, he's awkward, he doubts himself constantly, he barely understands politics.
He's autistic.
He's, yeah, pretty much. And that makes him the most dangerous knight in Westeros, though, because what does he do? Dunk actively believes in the vows of knighthood, and he believes he must live by them. Maybe because he was not truly knighted. You know what I mean? But he took
No, he
on.
was knighted. He was
Oh,
knighted.
no, he wasn't. But he took
That's the whole
on.
point. He questions himself, like just
Yeah,
because he doesn't feel like he's worthy enough of being a knight. He was knighted. He's not a liar. If anything, he's honest to a fault.
yeah, no, I think that's his one great lie. That's why he's always proving himself to be a great knight. You know, like the one great lie he tells is the reason why he has to live by the knight's vows. Because his, you know, Sir Arthur, right? Sir Penny, I was gonna say Pennyworth. Um oh god, I'm blanking on his the old man who dies. A Penny Tree. Sir of Penny Tree. What's up, Zax?
Yeah.
Well, I believed he planned on knighting him at some point, maybe, but I believe that he had, because he talks about at the very beginning squiring for somebody else. He was never knighted, but
Yeah, because that's all. He was knighted, but he was never taught to be a knight. That's why he knows how to squire. He knows how to do that. So he's just going with what he's used to.
yeah, no, man, I don't believe that. I don't think he was knighted. I need that information at some point, but I like to believe he wasn't. Like, because no one is perfect. No one is perfect. But yet, because he was not knighted, he believes he has to be the true to the vows. And I think that's amazing. That it becomes
So
his
much
mission.
he'll attack the prince and nearly kill him.
Hey man, he was defending the honor and he was defending the peasants from a tyrant. That's the way I see it. And from a chick he wanted to impress. Oh, but think about it. He thinks knighthood means protecting the weak. He thinks titles mean responsibility. He thinks cruelty is wrong, even when it's legal. You know, like the most cruel thing he'll say is, I'll give you a knock on the head, pretty much, to Egg. And that's just because that's how he was trained.
He likes to insult, princes, doesn't he?
Yeah. I don't think he does it on purpose most of the time, but he just speaks his mind. But everything he does puts him at odds with the entire feudal system in Westeros at this time.
Well, it is the ultimate like rags to riches type story, like
Mm-hmm.
going from nothing to
Yeah,
the
flea
highest
bottom
position
to
a knight can
right,
have.
exactly.
You
Flea
know,
bottom to not just
head of the king's guard.
yeah, exactly. Commander of the Kingsguard. I mean, that's pretty impressive. And he questions himself the whole time if he's worthy, and that's what makes him worthy. Because he's always proving to be, he has to prove to himself he is a true knight. And I think that's because he wasn't knighted.
Yeah, I hope that's not the case.
I don't know. I think no one's perfect in George's world, so that would make full sense that Dunk
Yeah, but
wasn't actually knighted.
he's not perfect. That's the fact that he goes out of his way to protect the woman, that he
Yeah,
essentially inadvertently causes the complete shift in the Targaryen dynasty
yeah, by doing the right thing.
with that one punch.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Dunk Alpha says 11 Alpha says Dunk was too honest. He was no Will Thatcher. William. I believe he considered himself a knight. He just feared others wouldn't accept him as a hedge knight of a hedge knight. Yeah, I don't know, man. And what does it matter? What is a knight? You know, like who became the first knight? Who decided? Oh, we're knights. Yeah, that's why the North doesn't do it. It's a title now given to just people as a position of power or like an elitist like badge of honor. I am a knight. You know, the worst thing, you know, like Jamie being knighted, what happens? You know, his father's the most proud of him. Knighted at like what, 15 and by the sword of the morning. And then what does, you know, the king do to him? Because he's pissed at his dad, he takes his heir and makes him a Kingsguard, you know? So like he can't have children or can't legitimately have title, land, you know, heirs. Because it doesn't say they can't have sex, you know. So, um, and you know, with Dunk, he doesn't challenge power intentionally. He just reacts like a human being, like a good human being. Richard Gere, um, you know, Dunk doesn't, I'm sorry, and the system hates him for it. Arian Bright Flame isn't evil because he's mad. He's evil because no one stops him. And he's mad. Except Dunk. Dunk punches is a moral act, I believe, not a political one. He thinks it's the correct thing to do. This person, prince or not, deserves it. That's why he embraces knights who trained their whole lives. That's why he scares nobles. He he embarrasses, excuse me, and they're impressed by him too. But he embarrasses knights that trained their whole lives to be knights, and it scares nobles because he unintentionally exposes their lies. Um, to him, knighthood isn't a rank; it's behavior. It's a way of life. And most knights in Westeros at this time, and most times, fail. So if HBO turns Dunk into which I don't think they're trying to do, a cool like action hero, they've already lost. Dunk is not. He's uncomfortable, uncertain, sometimes wrong, um, because he's a real. He's like embodies real goodness, the way goodness should look in George's world that he created. Um, and then you have Egg. Egg is the most dangerous character in the story, if you think about it. Not because he's powerful, but because he learns. Egg sees what princes aren't meant to see. Hungry villages, abused peasants, um, knights who laugh at suffering. This exposure changes him completely. Um, and there is a tragedy in that because it also guarantees his failure because he's exposed to this.
I agree. Egg is the most dangerous.
He is,
Yep.
you know, and the sad thing is, and what I was just saying is that like, because he's exposed to the hunger, the abuse of peasants, the nobles and knights who laugh at these people, it sets up his tragedy because Aegon the Fifth attempts to reform all of it. in one, in one king's life. He tries to help the small folk, you know, he tries to weaken feudal abuse, and he's turning the system upside down, and they resent him for it. The lords do. I
Yeah, well,
mean,
once you know how the sausage is made, it never tastes the same. And I
right,
feel like, yeah, and I feel like there's, in especially feudal times, there needs to be that separation between the ruling class and the ones who are being ruled.
right,
Um, you've got to appear that you understand what they're doing, but if you truly did, you couldn't be king
right, right.
because every aspect of you being a king means that to be king means you've got to tread on someone to be king. You can't be
Yeah,
the king of a prosperous nation without there being poor and stuff, because prosperous means nothing then in
yeah.
comparison.
You know,
You can be kinder. You don't necessarily have to be, like cruel.
well,
But
look,
some of
Shakespeare's.
the best, yeah, some of the best kings were warrior kings. Were men who weren't
Yeah,
necessarily good people.
yeah,
But their deeds saved, like Magor the Cruel. His deeds
yeah,
saved the world.
yes. And he was downright evil to do it. Uh, I was rather fond of Dunkin' Donuts. Culture says culture. Um, I'm from the East Coast where Dunkin' started. It sucks now, man. I'm so sad. But see, the problem with Dunkin' is if you drink their coffee, you're addicted because they put some chemical in that makes you crave it in the morning. And their donuts aren't what they used to be. I don't. You guys have Big Y's because Big Y donuts are way better. But you have to
Big
go in the store.
big Y's is in like the letter Y or WISE.
No, the letter Y. It's called Big Y, and it's like
Big Y.
yeah, it's a grocery
No,
store, but their donut section is
we
like,
have Big W.
hey, there we go. See,
Yeah.
we're close. Um, so yeah, uh, Aegon tries to change it, and the system resists him at every turn. Because the lords, Westeros, they don't want justice. They just want it, and Westeros itself just wants to be stable. They want that stability. And he turned over the apple cart way too quick. Um, so good kings don't last. They threaten too many people. A good king, it's hard to walk that tightrope between positive change and the cruelty it takes to do that. Think about Jaharis. Without his wife, he would never have been what he is. But even the two of them, you know, he used his dragon. If they, Egg had a dragon, which we think Summerhall was, it was desperation, really. Summerhall was a desperate act of a man who, like, actually, think about it. If Jaharis didn't have dragons, he would have been Egg. Because he did make change.
Well, more so Alicent. She was
Yeah,
more of the one that was
very
like
good point. Yeah,
people also forget that Jaharis put down a lot of rebellions. He
yes, he
killed a
did,
lot of people.
and so did Egg.
So yeah,
Yeah,
um,
I mean, don't forget he landed his dragon right outside of Old Town. It was just like,
yeah.
crown me. Like this is gonna happen. What are we gonna do? Um, Summerhall is what happens when a reformer runs out of option. And that really, like, think of the stuff that Jaharis did. The King's Road, I believe, is mostly Jaharis. He made the King's Road so it's easier for him to travel all around. But that put taxation on the lords, but no one's going to say anything. He has dragons. Now if Egg even tried to, like, I don't know, put in a stop sign, they were like rebellions. So
Also, purely simply for the fact that when you're trying to lobby people to do things, don't don't be the ones that are attacking them first.
yeah,
You're like, all right, all my, all the great houses. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna punish you.
yeah, yeah. 11 Alpha put it perfectly before I even said it. I didn't even see that you wrote that, but that's exactly what I'm thinking. You can't
Yeah.
do what Jaharis and Alicent did when you don't have Vir Virmathor and Silverwing. It's the truth. So Egg didn't fail.
Aegon the Third was the first proper true king because he
Yeah,
didn't have any dragons. The threat of dragons didn't exist. It was purely based on him
yeah,
ruling. Sure, Craig and Stark had a lot to do with some of the stuff that he wasn't willing to do himself.
right. He got rid of a lot of people that were in the way too. Yeah,
Yeah.
but he did. Even though he was young, he kept enemies as
Yeah.
supporters. So that was you're
Look,
right.
uh,
He doesn't get enough credit.
Tywin Lannister, like
Yes. Yeah.
the guy that was advocating for his head,
Mm-hmm.
ended up being his closest ally. The guy who he stood by his bed when he died and wept.
Yeah. 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 That's it. We
Like,
should talk about him next one of these times because I don't think enough people talk about Aegon the Third and what that poor bastard went through.
yeah, but there's no dragons anymore because they all die off during he's saying he doesn't have dragons. He's very anti-dragon.
Yeah, he's the dragon's bane, right? Right.
So realistic, that should be the when you look at, like, if you're looking at eras, or whatever you want to call it, you've got pre-conquest as an era. You've got the conquest all the way up until Aegon the Third.
Yeah.
So then there's when the dragons are gone, that's a new era.
A completely different era too.
Yeah, completely different era. Somehow
it's like
more progressive, yet also more backwards.
Right. It's like you took away nuclear weapons. Like all of a sudden, a nuclear power just lost all their nukes.
Yeah. So if let's just say, for instance, if America had lost all of its nukes and all of its thing, and it literally just went back to swords and everything like that, America would still be a power. If America says we're going to go do this, people would still be like, okay, well, you can do it, obviously.
Yeah.
Even though that threat is no longer there, but over time that will go away.
Right. And the people would start taking it's like Rome. I mean, Rome seemed to be invincible until there were enough barbarians that were like, screw this, let's keep hitting them. And they broke themselves from within too. Because it was large.
That's the Targaryen dynasty.
Yeah, it really is. It is. What up, Brian? Brian McCann, member for 27 months, man. That is freaking awesome.
Holy shit.
He says, hello. Why? CJ, what up? CJH Entertainment. So really, I believe Egg didn't fail because he was weak. He failed because Westeros can't be saved from itself after the dragons died. It was always on just a downward spiral as one kingdom. Because
I think he succeeded in doing what he wanted to do. I don't think it was a mistake. I think he wanted to get rid of as many people as possible.
Who? Egg?
Egg, yeah.
He wanted to get rid of as many Targaryens maybe as possible, because
that's what I mean. That's what I think.
Maybe.
Because if you want to change the world, break the world and everything, what's one way of doing it? You get rid of all the people that are in charge and the people that could be around. Like, I just think that if it wasn't for Duncan saving everyone, which is, I'm pretty sure, was what would have happened with his big old foot.
Right.
I think that's where it is. I think the story of Egg will be a Breaking Bad style story.
Yeah.
Because we never hear about him going mad. We hear about other people like Bright Flame and all that, and you got other people drinking wildfire, and you got other ones setting other people on fire. Like, that was never Egg.
No.
But what if he went, these people have to go? What if he started dreaming?
My family is tainted.
Yeah.
What
if he gets a dreams of dragons coming back and destroying the world? What if he gets a prophecy or something of, like, Daenerys just wrecking King's Landing?
Yeah. And maybe, most likely, it was because Dunk's foot that Aerys and his wife were saved, and they were able to have their child Rhaegar. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
a lot of Targaryens died, and I I got to get that part where it's like broken what happened. It's like flames, maesters, this that. You know that one section
Yeah,
where they talk about it. I have to read that again because it seems like maybe there is a valid you have a valid point that that could have been what he was trying to do. Like he may have had some type of dragon dream that told him, "Oh my God, we are going to destroy Westeros and the world if we stay. If this doesn't end now." And because Dunk is the good man he is, he did whatever he could to save people, but he went down with his friend.
but he had to know. He's like, dear, I'm a part of this dynasty as well. The
Mm-hmm.
line has to end with me.
Yeah, yeah. Aegon's from 239 to Aegon the Fifth's death in 259. The realm was at peace. There were you put it here. Yeah, there was the fourth Blackfire, Lionel Baratheon's rebellion, but I thought there is also they talk about like it wasn't a major rebellions, but he squashed minor uproars, I guess, from different
Was
little
the fourth Blackfire Rebellion the one that was basically just stopped on the same day? It was just like, yeah, that's it, you're done. Or was it the fifth
well,
one?
the fifth was the last one, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Wasn't
maybe
that
it
the
was the
nine
fourth. Yeah,
wasn't the fifth one with whatever the monstrous Magor the monstrous or whatever he was, the dude with his
yeah.
brother on his neck? um there was five or six. Wait a minute. Well, we'll have to go over that, but there definitely were smaller skirmishes during his time because I remember it. The more it happened, the more he thought of if I had dragons. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Uh, what also the story entails is the Blackfire. It's like a Blackfire shadow. If we're talking about the Blackfires, let's bring it up. The
Well,
Blackfires are
yeah.
the yeah.
It's a small cluster of what's to come. That tournament, the Battle of the Seven. It's maybe I wouldn't say it's the catalyst to it, but
No,
it it's
because
definitely one
there
of the sparks that ignite it.
well, there was already right. There's already one rebellion before the second novella, right? The rebellion happened before this one.
Yeah, because
The first
there's
book,
already been
right?
one.
There's been
Yeah,
the one, and it was Damon and his sons, and yeah, okay. But it's in the air, right? The Blackfires are like ghosts, kind of like this thing that never leaves. It's always who to trust, who still sides with them because um you still have what's his name that hates Bloodraven. Bittersteel is still alive,
yeah,
still has the sword, you know.
yeah. Because at this
And
stage, he's already founded the Golden Company.
yeah, yep,
So
yeah. The fifth war was the nine penny kings. Um, yeah, the first one was major, definitely alpha. But let's see, knights, 10,000 men at arms.
because it was Aegon the Fourth when it first happened, right?
Well, Aegon the Fourth, the Unworthy, was the one that legitimized his bastards.
That
So
was
when
when he
he
died. That's right.
died,
Yeah.
yeah, it
So
was his
yeah,
son Daron.
Daron. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. So even when they're like not on the pages we're reading, they're there. They're always around. They're represented the coarse sickness of Westeros. This legitimacy obsession. You know, we're legitimate. No, you're not. I look more
It also didn't help.
Targaryen
It also didn't help that Daron was very pro Dornish as well.
and look Dornish, like
Yeah.
Breakspears.
Yeah. No,
You
I
know,
can see why. Like, not to this day that it's been proven that he wasn't the legitimate son, but
Mhm.
I think,
Oh, he
I
was
think, yeah, he was. But I'm saying nothing's come out that said that he isn't.
right,
But the fact that it was heavily rumored and it's believable
right.
that
Well, yeah, the people that didn't have his favor definitely pushed that agenda and turned his brother against him. Daemon Blackfyre looked like a Targaryen. Daeron did not, even though he was the heir. And that was used against him, and people, whispering in Daemon's ear. And then when he got legitimized, well, that was the dumbest thing Aegon could have done, Aegon the Fourth. And it changed Westeros again forever. Many things Targaryens do change things forever.
It's always power, though. That's the thing. That's why Dunk's story is very intriguing, because he isn't someone of power, even though he does eventually become someone of great significance and great power. It's his actions when he was a nobody that led to that.
Right. He was the fifth son of the fifth son.
Yeah,
there was no way he was going to be king. There was no way.
It's the unlikely, obviously. Yes.
Exactly.
And that's the whole point. Like, his actions put his squire on the throne.
Right.
That's a weird thing to say for someone who technically isn't a knight. If you're going to go, like, a guy who isn't a knight gets his squire put on the throne by punching a prince.
Yeah. Just one punch.
That's the story of Duncan Egg.
Really, it is. A maybe not knight, Hedge knight, punches a prince and his squire becomes king. That's the story right there, wrapped up. Granted, I want the other novellas to fill in the blanks.
I just want the one up at freaking Winterfell.
Yeah, me too. I want Winterfell, and then I want Summerhall. I want Aegon as king.
I think Summerhall we're going to get. I don't think we're going to get that in a Duncan Egg story. I think that's just going to be in Fire and Blood, Part 2.
I think it'll be either that or Winds of Winter. It comes out what happened. If we get
yeah. So I mean, and I think that's also a thing when it comes to a lot of timing. I think the reason why this is coming out now is because it's going to be introducing to people the idea of the Trial of the Seven.
Right.
So that's definitely going to be playing into something, and I got a weird feeling that they might do that in freaking House of the Dragon for some reason. I don't know why. I just feel like there was a reason that this had to come out first.
Yeah.
Before the next season.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering what storyline or what thing could be explaining that, or maybe there's a bit of lore that drops in this about what happened there that's different to the book material.
Wait a minute. What has to come out before what? Say that again.
So they said that House of the Dragon was pushed back because they needed the Night of Seven Kingdoms to come out first. So I think there's something in that story that's either going to get spoiled or set up something that's in House of the Dragon Season 3.
Mm-hmm.
So they might be talking about something in there, like maybe Egg's reading a thing or something, and it mentions something about
the past. Oh,
about the past.
I was going to say, like, how does that?
He's like, tell me a story, and he's like, did you hear the story of the exile of Aemon? You're like, wait, what?
Yeah,
what do you mean the exile of Aemon? He's just like, after the Battle of the God's Eye, he was kicked out of the kingdom. He's just like, wait, no, he died.
Yeah, no,
because as book readers or something like that, or something like, I think they're going to set up something like that in there, or they're going to, for whatever reason, throw in a Trial by Seven in that. If not in that, definitely in the Winter Winter.
Yeah,
I think that's what's going to happen with Cersei. That she's gonna ask for a Trial by Seven.
Wow.
And Jamie won't be there.
Definitely.
Because Jamie he burnt her letter at the end of Dance Dragons.
Yep. Yeah, he's trying to be what a real knight is. What's up, Becky? How you doing? How about them Patriots?
Well, his two favorite knights is Ser Duncan the Tall and Kristen Cole. I get Kristen Cole because he likes to bang queens.
Yeah.
So I get that side of things.
Yeah.
But I feel like, it's like Ser Duncan is what he believes he was going to be.
Yeah.
And I think that's the part of the reason that, Duncan stood up for stuff, and he did things that were necessarily bad, but for the good. That's very much a mirror to young Jamie Lannister as well.
Yeah. Yeah, true. I didn't think about that, but you're right. That's interesting. I like that. All right. Back to the Blackfires, though.
Oh yeah,
What was I saying? Oh,
African
yeah.
American fires.
Yeah, they represent the core sickness of Westeros, legitimacy obsession, okay? Blood over ability, symbol over substance. Um, it teaches us one thing, the Blackfire Rebellion. Westeros doesn't care who rules well, it cares who looks right. And that's it. And that poison spreads everywhere. You have to look the part. You don't have to be have substance. You just have to look the part. And that's why you know what? Daron doesn't look quite, he looks too Dornish to me. That Damon, I understand. We want
Did you see
him.
the way that guy was holding a spear and our guy was holding a sword? Isn't
Right.
that a bit weird? You know?
Yeah. He
Oh,
also
it's a nice sword. It's almost like it legitimizes him by just him
yeah.
holding it.
I mean, someone gave him. I mean, didn't his dad give him that sword? Oh, that's right. What an idiot. Duncan Egg isn't about one rebellion. It's about a realm that's never healed. You know,
Well,
from
especially because around the time with the second Blackfire Rebellion, that was defeated with basically purely espionage, and
yeah.
there was no big open battles like the first one.
Mm-mm.
And there was
The
a lot
second
more.
one's defeated because of Dunk,
Yeah,
Bloodraven,
that's
and
what
Egg. You know,
that's what I'm saying. Like they used the actions of what happened there as fuel, as for like.
yeah.
It is crazy if you just remove someone insignificant or what just one moment of insignificance.
Yeah.
How much the realm changes.
Yeah. Aemon the Dragon Knight is who John wanted to be when they played uh you know knights when they were kids. Yeah, he was what boys aspired to. Uh and he was, one of those knights that was in love with the queen, who was his sister, uh, and had to, but was in the King's Guard and had to defend it and died defending his brother he hated.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
that's why there's songs about them. That's the one that
Mm-hmm.
Sansa sings.
Yep.
As well. Like,
Yeah. Um, yeah. And with HBO, they can't afford to downplay the Blackfire Rebellion in the shadow of it. Because without the Blackfire Rebellion, Duncan Egg becomes a shallow story. It's very important that it's in the background.
they might not even mention it. It literally in the HBO universe of A Song of Ice and Fire, the Blackfire Rebellion might not even be a thing. Because remember, there was no Aegon in the TV series. The Golden Company was nothing.
Mm.
It was like they legitimately could not even mention the Blackfire fire stuff because they go, well, it's not that important to the overall story because it all gets defeated and squashed. And
Yeah, that's true.
I wouldn't put it past HBO and all that guys because when it comes to stuff that they find relevant, they're not law abiders. They just look at one thing. Like if you're going to
Right.
remove one of the most important characters from the books and not include them at all
Right.
in the TV series,
Oh man.
you what led up to people believing him? What led up to him getting the power? How was he
Mm-hmm.
going? How was he as? Because the Gold Company in the books is not going to side with the Lannisters.
Yep.
Why would they?
Right. Oh man.
So they
Yeah.
might not downplay it. They just might not. It might not even be a thing in that world.
They never brought it up during the original series.
I don't remember. I don't
I feel
remember
like they did
if
it.
they mentioned the Blackfire. Here's the thing.
I thought they
Just look
talked
at
about
whatever Joffrey
Daemon
says.
Blackfire. Yeah.
Joffrey seems to be the person who tells everyone what's coming up in the future spin-offs, and he spoils all of them. You know,
Yeah, that is true. All right. So Blackfire's better be involved. Next, Bloodraven. Is he a savior or a tyrant? Uh, to me, at this time, Bloodraven and in the regular the you know actual A Song of Ice and Fire series. Bloodraven is the most frightening man in Westeros, not because he's cruel, but because he's right. At least in this era, he sees the threat, he knows what's coming, and he's willing to sacrifice anything to stop it. I don't know if he's right, but he definitely does what he believes no one else can do. That includes freedom, including trust or morality. Because like you see Dunk distrusts him instinctively. I can't say the word instinctively. Egg doesn't trust him. And that difference matters.
Yeah,
100%. Because Bloodraven is the prototype of what is the real three-eyed crow, because it's not Bloodraven. For
who was before him then? Was he the first?
First what?
Well, whatever he is.
He's the first brand. I think he's the first brand that the children used.
And what? And then he looked to go with what? Euron.
We think so, yeah. And Euron was just woohoo and didn't believe he could fly. And then Bran did fly. And I think that's what separated the two. Because Euron talks about when I was a child, they told me I couldn't fly. So I didn't.
Euron's near-death experience was water-based, where Bran's was air-based because he fell out the window.
Right. Yep. Going back to Brian McCann's, love of the what are the people that live under the water? The
mermaids?
No, the squishers, the swisher, Brian, what are they called again? You'll write it. Yeah. So Bloodraven is the prototype, right, for Bran, I guess.
He's the beta test. That's why he's all scarred up.
Like destiny manipulation. And the question is simple: is the world safer because of him, or just quieter? Is there less that happens in people's reigns because of Bloodraven? Like it was a bloodless council that decided Egg would be king because Bloodraven took care of some people he believed were pretenders, Blackfires, and others. He jailed and killed the Blackfire heir after he told him he can come over and present his claim. And I pretty much think that warned everybody else. If you don't have a damn good claim that we feel like is a good claim, you better not approach this council.
Well, yeah, because it's very different to the Council of 101 when there was like 34 different people that were biting for king.
The deep ones. Thank you. Yeah. And I think, I've been pondering this, but I think Duncan Egg is like the peak George writing in A Song of Ice and Fire. The stories work because they have an ending, each one. Like, yes, I want to see what comes next, but they do end. They set us up to say, oh, next up we'll go north, but we don't really, there's no need technically to follow it. It's
well, yeah, once you've read the Hedge Knight, if you never read anything else from the series, it's not going to be like you're missing something.
Right. I mean, mostly the second one is, what's the difference between, a traitor and a loyalist? Because they seem, they work for a so-called traitor and not realize it till, towards the end of the second novella. The guy was a Blackfire supporter, but like, what does it mean? No way. I just totally ruined that. But like, what is it? It's through the eye of the beholder. Like that person believed he was loyal to Westeros and to the true heir. Yeah, so I don't know, but each novella is focused, they're human, and they're complete. You know, George excels with this smaller scale, I think, when the characters breathe a little bit more, when and the consequences stick, and he doesn't get caught up in a knot. I don't know
that we know of.
that we know of, right? Right. No, that's a good point. Because to me, Duncan Egg it isn't unfinished because each story knows exactly or what it wants to say. It isn't bloated, you know, nothing exists just to move pieces on a board. Every piece matters in each novella. And every conflict is a personal one. Every consequence is immediate. Every choice matters to the real people, not abstract plot lines. Like it's pure. I mean, George made a pure story in each one. That's why, like, it would suck not to get any more novellas, but like, okay, they're complete stories. Like, I want the story that is still continuing in present day Westeros. Like, let's end that one.
You asked for too much.
I know.
It's only been 15 years.
Yeah. So what does HBO have to do to the adaptation will tell us everything with HBO. You know, will HBO respect like restraint? Because I know they want to make it like probably a spectacle because every Game of Thrones thing is a spectacle, but it's more down in the mud. Like the trial by seven in the trailer looks better than I was hoping. I thought they'd make it a spectacle, but it's dark, it's grimy, it's foggy, it's
It looks like war, not men playing war.
Right, it's confusing. No one knows who they're hitting, who they're fighting. It looks good. But if they chase the spectacle of it after, the first season, they're going to fail. Excuse me. Because it's not like a powerful fantasy.
Well, also, it depends on how much they focus on. If they try and do a cliffhanger ending just to get more ratings, like,
Yeah,
are they even going to adapt the entire thing into one season?
that's what I was wondering too. I mean, you have 3 books at the moment.
Yeah, you have 3 books, which means you've got 6 seasons of television.
It could be, and then maybe they'll take over and ruin it. But don't make Dunk like a Conan. Egg can't be like a cute comic relief. He's funny at times because he's so direct. And so like at the beginning, he seems like this little sarcastic little shit, but he's not. He's just that's who he is. He's a Targaryen. He doesn't know any different at the time. So he's smart and he's learned and he just says what he knows. But if they make him too like comic reliefy, it's gonna ruin it. And the violence has to be ugly and muddy and the politics like a subtle thing on the side. Because it's not about politics.
It's not Game of Thrones. It's not game. That's the thing. Right. It's not that as well. But it's also not a comedy. The comedy comes in the fact that they are both fish out of water.
Yes. Yep.
He doesn't know the first thing about any sort of politicking or even basic rules of engagement with certain things.
Right.
And Egg's just like, no, I'm a real boy. I'm a regular boy. It's like, no, dude, we can clearly tell that you're not.
Right.
Because if you'd mouthed off like this to anyone, and you were as old as you are, you would have got a smack across the mouth by now.
Yep. And please no modern framing and no hero worshiping. Dunk may be in the long run a hero, but it's mostly a story about consequences. Everything leads to a king.
And they need to make him an actual lunk. Yeah. If he's not Dunk the Lunk, it's like if he's just male Brienne, it's gonna suck.
Yeah, and to me, if HBO gets this right, Westeros might still have like on the TV scale a future. But if they don't, I really think it's like just cut it off. It's the last chance, at least for me. I can't keep getting sucked into one of these and be like, oh my god, it's gonna be great, and then season 2 just ruins. So I'm excited for it because I love Dunkin' Egg, but we'll see what happens. We'll see
I just
how
can't wait to
HBO
be Bang's
handles it.
old man
Yeah, that may happen.
as a bunch of giant kids.
Right.
And then it turns out, oh look, he's actually Brienne's great grandfather.
Yeah, right.
Right
Oh
all
my
in.
god, that's so crazy. So, what else? Anything else? I did get another package from the great Sean. Uh Estep. 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 I always screw up his name. I was gonna open that. So if you don't mind, I'm
I
gonna
call him SDP.
STP. I like that. It's freaking heavy. That's what I'll tell you. I don't even know if it's all for me. But he did send another package, Sean. So thank you. I should have said that at the very beginning that I was going to do this. So if you're watching, please make through at least an hour of the show. It's not even 58 minutes.
Exactly. Also, I checked all the scripts and everything of Game of Thrones. Blackfire was never mentioned once.
What? That is crazy.
It was never mentioned.
Wow. That's
As I
impressive.
said, the closest that they've got to it is Targaryens killing Targaryens, but that could also refer to the dance.
Yeah, and I think it would probably refer to the dance. Sean is the man. Wow. All right. Let's see what we got. Oh, thanks, buddy. But he is sending. Okay, so I already opened. I got that package first, and I opened it. But he sent these. They're like journals, but like this one is House Targaryen journal.
Yeah, full screen yourself.
Oh yeah, let me do that. Boom. So this is like House Targaryen journal. Might be able to see it better, like on the side view. It's like it's almost, I think it's leather. It has one of those like straps in the back so you can leave it where your bookmark is. I think that's what that is. That is really cool. And there's like a couple different ones. I put them in another area, but like there are 4 of them for Tina. So it's not just House Targaryen. There's 3 other ones, and I don't remember exactly who they were. Maybe the Lannisters was one of them. So I will send those to you, buddy, at some point. Oh yeah,
Lannister one should be made of gold.
this one's another one. It's Valar
Morghulis?
Margulis. So
Yeah.
look at it's like a door, and the back is a black door. So it has Margulis and Valar Darharis.
Daharis.
Yeah, all men must die. And then it was, what's the other one? All men must live, or something like that. And here are the other 2 that he sent her also. This one is the actual throne. And then I think that's the 7 in the back.
Oh, yep.
Yep, from the throne. And then this one is, yeah, it was right. It's the Lannister one. And they're all journals, which is really cool. And I don't know what this, I think it's like a leather. Each one has like a leather bookmark, which is really cool. Yeah, Lemon Alpha. It's the door of the House of Black and White, which is really cool. All right, the rest is for me. All right, let's see what. Oh my god! All right, let's first do Harry Potter. Jesus, man, put so much stuff in here. Harry Potter, the Creature Vault. What is that? I've never heard of that before.
Oh yeah, that's the one with all the animals and mystical beings and like fantastic beasts and all that.
Oh yeah, Dementors and House Elves.
Yeah.
Mere people and Chinese fireball dragons. Just few magical creatures. Oh my god, that's so cool, dude. Let's see. The lake dwellers and stuff.
So now you'll be up to date for when the TV series comes out.
Oh, that's beautiful, man. That is really cool. Ukrainian Iron Belly. Oh, so it's all the different That is neat. Basilic. Basilisk. Very cool, dude. This is amazing. Hold on. All right, let's see. Oh, jeez, man. Harry Potter Fantastic Beasts. 8 Harry Potter and Fantastic Beasts movie scrapbooks. Also comes filled with interactive artifacts, including 35 mini posters. Wow. 19 interact playing pieces, 5 collectible cards, 12 mini booklets, 2 bookmarks, and 133 stickers. That is insane, dude. That is really cool. Jeez. I mean, this thing is huge. And I didn't think he heard me when I said something to that 70s rock band. So I'll get to that at the end because that's something I'm so excited about. But the Ultimate Wizarding World Guide to Magical Studies. That's so awesome, dude. Oh,
So now you can actually teach some of the lessons at Hogwarts.
Yeah, it says chapter 1, an introduction to Hogwarts academics. Chapter 2, courses at Hogwarts. Chapter 3, curriculars and non-course subjects. That is dope, man. I'm trying to get my kids into Harry Potter, so this will be a lot of fun with them. There's a ton of stuff in here, dude. Let's see, anything else that is like. He always sends me interesting stuff. So weird and unusual trivia. And it kind of looks like like one's like, do birds get tired when it flies? Where are the world's most romantic places to propose? What led to the 100 Years' War? Like, it's so random.
Muggles. There's a bunch of mudbloods.
That's so great. It's stuff about Superman in here, Krypton, USA. So there's chapters about everything in here. So it's more, it's like at least 2 of the Marlboro men, the chiseled icon of the cigarette culture, have died from lung cancer. Those are facts, people. The states of America, the people, places, and thing, a 52 flashcards and 128-page illustrated book. Holy crap. Kind of like multiple things in here. All right, next. Strange USA, historical oddities, roadside rarities, unique eats, which I'll definitely read that chapter, and amazing Americans. Jimi Hendrix is one of them. All right, let's see. Oh, cool. Schoolhouse Rock, the updated official guide, which is something I was talking to somebody about the other day because they didn't know what Schoolhouse Rock was. Do you guys in Australia ever hear of that?
It looks familiar.
Yeah, like how a bill becomes a law. You know, one of those things.
Yeah, that one. Yeah,
Yeah,
I do remember that one.
That's so cool. These are things
they made fun of it on The Simpsons.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. All right, and then we have, what is this? Oh, classic novels. So one is The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, and the other is The Adventures of Pinocchio. Something I can read to my kids. So that's a 2-book set in a beautiful, like, bound thing here. And then there was another one too. Oh, Peter Pan and The Jungle Book. So it's like both books in this nice little holder here. Peter Pan and The Jungle Book. Sean always thinks about not just me, which is nice. And the last ones are the ones I'm mostly excited about. They're all Beatles stuff. The Fifth Beatle, the Brian Epstein story. That's freaking cool.
The which Epstein story?
Wrong Epstein. Uh, that's so awesome. Okay, and then
Did
let's
you
see.
ever see the official documentary, The Fifth Beatle?
The movie or a documentary?
There was a documentary.
No, I don't think I have.
Yeah, with real life footage and everything as well.
Look at this. That is awesome. It's just the book, The Beatles. And it has everything, like from their days. Let's see. So starting in 1934, so even before them. Um, oh my God, it's so awesome. Talking about the Astrid pictures from Germany and everything. Some of the coolest looking ones. Keep best all the way over there. Oh my God, this is dope. I can't tell you how beautiful this book is. I can't wait to show my wife. All right. And then there's these, wow, like these, if what is this? The Beatles finally let it be. The Beatles album series. Oh, these are the ones from Bruce. What's his name? Spicer. So it tells everything about like like each word, each song. In this one's for Let It Be, Get Back. Let's see what other ones he has. Sergeant Pepper's. And then what's the final one is the White Album. Oh, how freaking dope is that? Dude, Sean, where did you get all this stuff?
You said it fell off the back of a truck after you.
And then the whole Get Back story. So that's the Disney one. It's like word for word everything. I've heard of this one. It's like all the transcripts, which is so cool. Thank you so much, Sean. He's like literally giving me a library of stuff. Oh my God, this stuff is awesome. I can't wait to show my wife the Beatles stuff too. That is dope. Thank you, bro. Hey, the real Nick. What is up, man? How you been? Yeah, they do need to watch that one in school. Our bill becomes a law. Um, what's that image you just shared?
I don't know. Maybe have a look at it.
Okay, I gotta go to hold on YouTube too because I can't do it from there. If you put it in the private chat, then I can actually open it. Mm, 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 mm. There we go. All right. And why am I still just looking at myself? There we go.
There we
All
go.
right. Okay, I just downloaded whatever that was. Oh my God. All right, I guess I have to share that file. That was a good one, buddy. Image file, right?
Yep.
Downloads. At least I'm fighting Slytherin.
Yeah. Oh,
And
you're
he's
wearing the
trying
same
to.
hat too.
Yeah, I am. That's crazy. And I'm stocky like I always have been. And I'm, he's trying to uh Avada Kedavra me with a death blow. That's insane. What the hell?
Apparently, the kids in the background aren't impressed.
Yeah, they don't seem too excited about it. That's crazy. Oh man. Thank you very much, Sean. If you were watching this, if anybody, because I don't think Sean has X either. But if anybody I gotta get his email or something. I gotta thank him. It's insane. Insane. All this stuff is crazy. But I think I'm gonna wrap it up or a little early tonight. Anything you want to talk about before we wrap it up?
No, no, I'm all good. Just wanted to jump on and have a bit of a chat.
Well,
That's all. So
I appreciate you doing that. It means a lot to me, man.
I'm halfway through reread of the third book.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, yeah, been enjoying it a lot more.
Wait a
I
minute. The
thought
third novella
no, the third uh, uh, uh
of the Game of Thrones, the Song of Ice and Fire.
yeah, Storm of Swords.
Storm of Swords. That's a good one. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it does
here
a
it
good
has a real
job.
happy
So it
ending.
should. Yeah, it really does. It's so sweet. Such a good one. All right, man. Thank you very much, everybody, for being here tonight. I'm hoping to be back maybe Thursday night to do a Spork of Ice and Fire, or I'm sorry, aluminum Spork. Talking, there's a lot of crazy stuff that's been coming out in Egypt and in Turkey, lost ancient civilizations. So we'll have to talk about that. Anything you're working on or doing?
Just got the this week into the Chapter I, our Stargate stream.
Mm-hmm.
Should be good. We're talking about 2 episodes, Seth, and the one afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
So can't remember what its name is. So that
Sweet.
should be good.
That's
And
cool.
I've got the full Aussie on the weekend, and then yeah, well, obviously the week after that is Christmas,
All that
and
good stuff.
see what we're doing.
Oh God. Well, 11 Alpha. I hope everything's all right. Make sure you get back out. Prayers will be with you. And everybody else, thank you for being here tonight. I'm sorry it's been very random lately, but I'm going to try to get back to it. So stick with me. I'll stick with you. Have a great night, everybody.